What's up guys, welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you want to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
A demon lord could always change his stripes, and while humans may come and go, Maribel absolutely refused to expect human values from such long-lived rulers.
You see? So that's why ideas like partnering with a demon lord, or taking advantage of a demon lord, they're all wrong, down to the very roots. None of them would ever work.
Johan was silenced. Then, like the final nail on the coffin, one of her blood shadow troops chose that moment to make a magical call to her. He was reporting on Glenda's defeat.
No, they captured Glenda?
Johan looked shocked.
Is that true?
Not even Maribel could hide her surprise. Glenda's wariness was always commendable. No matter the danger involved, she always made it home alive. Maribel trusted her, not her personality, but that animal-like craving for life.
I can't believe it. That clever, conniving vixen.
Glenda was one of the standout results from the Razzo family's secret summoning program, an otherworlder forced by their spell to remain faithful to them. Her strength was well known by now, and the family treated her like a full-fledged tactical weapon. The idea of her being defeated and captured was beyond belief for Johan. Elder or not, he was a normal human, and unlike Granville or Maribel, he could only think about things in standard human terms. Maribel ignored his awestruck muttering as she pondered her options. Defeating him is out of the question, but if we can take rule over him, all our problems are gone. We'll have to do it.
We'll set a trap,
Maribel said.
A trap? What are you intending to do?
Yuki asked, breaking his silence. She turned to him.
Right, a trap. Your people are going on a ruins expedition trip with the demon lord Rimuru, aren't you? We'll set a trap there.
She wasn't asking for his opinion. This was a finalized plan, and it was set in stone.
Right. Kigali's headed there, but I don't think that's such a good idea, you know?
Why is that?
Because the demon lord Milam's joining them.
Yuki warned.
It'll be too dangerous to hatch anything.
In his opinion, they needed to win Rimuru's confidence first, then work out more of a long-term plan with him. But Maribel's mind was already made up.
No, I can't have that. The more time we give him, the more trouble at Demon Lord will be. That's what my instincts are telling me. Yuki, is there a way you can keep Milim from coming along?
That's even less possible. He's already eyeing me. If I try putting a stop to it, it's basically admitting that I'm tricking them.
Fair enough. Then let's bring down the Demon Lord Milim as well.
Huh?
Yuki asked, dazed.
That's ridiculous. Maribel. That's not just beyond reckless. It's beyond the realm of possibility.
Johan stood up out of his seat. Their reactions were perfectly understandable. Even crushing one demon lord required a careful, foolproof plan. But two at the same time? It was deliberately giving yourself no chance. But Maribel still smiled.
I will put everything I have into it. Everything, do you understand?
It's still impossible.
Yuki cried.
You say, everything, but my moderate jesters are all busy with their own work right now, and
I don't know how useful they are, but if they're not available, we'll proceed without them.
Maribel shuddered Yuki's objections before he could finish stating them. To her, the jesters weren't worthy of consideration, or, to be more accurate, she already knew a better force, a large one, that could take on demon lords for her.
But you know, Yuki, I had you supply a certain something from the dragon's nest for me before. I think it's high time we use it.
You mean that? That's such a bad idea. Not even I can control it.
Not a problem. It belongs to the demon lord Milim anyway. We're just returning it for her. Maybe we could say that Clayman was saving it as his last resort, and his surviving loyal troops set it off. Then Milim's rage won't be directed at us.
If something goes wrong, it could cause untold damage to human areas.
And?
No,
Johan attempted to talk Maribel out of this but was completely shut out. She might have been theoretically open to alternatives, but flat rejections would never grab her interest. And since Johan had no other suggestions, Maribel's strategy won the day. As Johan struggled against her, Yuki kept talking, trying to figure out her thought process. It made him realize this operation had a better chance of success than he thought.
Alright, in that case, Milam's likely to take it on herself. She'd stop Rimuru from doing so, for sure, and it'd be the perfect way to separate them, maybe.
Very good. Very, very good. And while the demon lord Milim's playing around with it,
we go in and take over Rimuru's mind?
Yes, precisely.
But I've still got one worry.
The storm dragon?
Yep, you guessed it. If we fail to take over Rimuru, and Veldora goes on a rampage. What are we gonna do then?
That, or their target might fight back more than they expected, giving them no time to take over his mind. If it came to that, Yuki would have no choice but to kill Rimuru. He attempted to voice his concerns about that, in a roundabout way, but apparently that was an acceptable consequence of her plans.
No need to worry about that. No need at all, Yuki. Don't worry about a thing. Just focus on defeating the demon Lord Rimuru.
Yuki didn't defy her. In the end, he did what he was told.
Alright, if you say so, I'll believe in you.
Maribel gave him a nod. Thanks to what her grandfather Granville told her about demon lords, Maribel saw much deeper into the world than most. If Rimuru should fall, and Veldora the Storm Dragon flew into a rage, the demon lord Luminous would likely step in to handle it. Paradoxically, that would actually be better for her than Rimuru keeping up his current rule. He and Luminous had already joined forces, which essentially meant that Luminous left management of the Western nations to him. The Queen of Nightmares herself, someone who saw humankind as little more than vampire food, had let the 7 Days clergy do that before, but, as shown in Granville's own fall, they were no more. He had lost Luminous's protection, and with that, the authority he had to influence the Western nations. From now on, Hinata the Saint would doubtlessly gain more political clout, and considering their relationship, the rising rule of the demon lord Rimuru would grow even firmer with her. No matter what, I've got to stop that. And as she secretly thought this, it didn't matter if she needed to expose the world to the threat of Veldora to do it. Maribel and Yuki spent the next little while fleshing out the details of their plan. By this point, there was no room left for Johann. All he could do was pray they succeeded. Thus, these magic-born, packing as much malice as they could into their intricate plans, began to devise a way to suppress Rimuru for good. After that long session was over, we all regrouped back at the cafe. I was relaxing in my seat, the tie on my business suit loosened. I could have used spatial motion to come home now, but Zoe still hadn't caught our culprit, and there might be some unforeseen snags, so I decided to stick around for a bit. But, man, that conference was so exhausting. Prince Elric of Anglasia's intrusion, that guy Gabon pulling the strings behind him, all the counselors whose support they enjoyed, but it all ended with their mouths agape. Gabon was a high-level noble, I guess, but even he got taken away by those scary-looking, magical inquisitors. The other counselors in on the conspiracy were saved from that by diplomatic immunity, but thanks to the ledgers I submitted to the authorities, I think their home nations will be investigating them shortly. They'll lose their posts, no doubt, and a lot of them looked pretty alarmed about that, but they had it coming. Even a lot of the counselors who weren't involved at all treated me with, shall we say, noble indifference. I let the innocent ones go, but judging by my ledgers, a lot of them were criminals indeed. So I planned to alert their home nations about my evidence as well. The more the merrier, and all that. That ought to shake up things a bit among those fools, a lot of whom used their posts to fatten up their own coffers. The sooner they were gone, the easier things would be for me later. I sipped my coffee as I thought all this over.
Well, a lot happened today, but now I'm glad Hinata and Shuna got angry before I did. I am the demon lord here, so I figured it wouldn't look too good if I started bashing heads in first thing.
Oh, I didn't get angry. Some of the counselors were being discourteous in their diplomacy, and I just offered them some etiquette lessons.
Neither did I, Sir Rimuru. I just helped a few rude gentlemen see the errors of their ways. If I was truly angry, there wouldn't have even been a pile of ashes where they once stood.
Hinata and Shuna smiled at the same time, perfectly in sync. It was a little frightening. Against that sheer impact, all I could do was nod and say, yeah, back.
But it was a good experience for me.
Interjected Benimaru.
I mean, I got too angry up there. My mind became a total blank, and I didn't know what I should do about it. If Shuna had waited any longer to act, I might have torched every human in that room.
I nearly did a spit take with my coffee. Yeah, I sure thought Benimaru was coolly eyeing the proceedings. I was glad to see him act all mature for a change, but he was actually so enraged that he lost hold of himself. Guess I shouldn't have been so impressed. But man, was that close. If I oversaw a bloody massacre in there, the entire human race would have it in for me.
Look, whatever you do, don't do that, alright?
I was just kidding.
Benimaru tried to laugh it off with a breezy smile, but he couldn't fool me. He was serious. I'd need to pick a representative to send to the council before the next meeting, and I'd better choose damn carefully. We were still talking, me finishing my coffee, when Soei's report came in.
Sir Rimuru, I have captured the assassin.
I figured he'd manage the job fine, and I was right. What a talent, always doing a perfect job with the work I assigned him.
She was an able fighter, to be sure. She didn't give her name or any other information about herself, but she referred to you as that devil bastard's boss.
A crack professional assassin, no doubt, one who wouldn't divulge her identity that easily. But, devil bastard.
Did she mean Diablo?
I couldn't imagine anyone else.
Made sense. I didn't receive any report along those lines from Diablo, at least, I don't think I did, but he's the kinda guy who treated even Raisin like a snot-nosed kid. If he and this assassin ever fought, chances are the girl didn't even register in his mind. It reminded me once again just how sky-high Diablo's standards were. Raisin himself, after all, was a human strong enough to be worthy of a magic-born title. The way Hinata described it to me, there was almost no person stronger than him in the Western nations, and if he called him a wimp, then Diablo's sense of judgment must have been completely out of whack. I should probably teach him more about what passes for strong in this world. I ordered another cup of coffee as I considered this. Shuna, Hinata, and Benimaru were going with tea instead, as well as some cake for dessert. Whoa, you too, Benimaru? Guess I might as well join in, then. I'll never say no to a good shortcake, that's my favorite. So I had the waitress deliver coffee to us both when Soe arrived. The waitress was clearly blushing, which Soe prudently ignored as he drank it black. Coffee really completes the picture with him, although I personally sided more with Benimaru and his sweet tooth. Thus, we enjoyed our drinks as I asked Soe, this perfect specimen of a man, for his full report.
And that's everything for now.
He wrapped things up by the time I got to the end of my second cup, using thought communication to replay the memory of what he saw to everyone. Based on that, it looked like Soe managed to make this assailant throw every type of offense she had at him. She was pretty beautiful, too, but Soe showed her no mercy. It was kind of like cheating in an old-school online game, taking advantage of some bug to get infinite energy, letting your opponent think they had a chance to win, and just laughing in the shadows the whole time.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. Shoutout to Hiren Bajwani, Vibor Garg, Pickle Rick, Gisan Cliff Casas, Yawar Ali, Black Marshmallow, Lunarin, Richard Fulton, Krishna Randad, and last but not the least, shoutout to Ruben Torico. I'll see you guys in the next video.